Hey folks, welcome back to the channel and another update video for Escape from Tarkov. Today we're going to get you caught up on everything important that's happened in Tarkov in the last couple of weeks. It's been a pretty quiet month from BSG. Not many updates, not really any communication, but there's still a few things to keep everyone caught up on, so let's get into it. First up, let's talk about the weekly 100% boss spawn events. Initially, BSG had said when they kind of announced these that they were only going to be on the weekend, but as we've seen the last couple of weeks, they've been running all week long until the next one kicks off, which I think is a good thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, we've already seen Reshala and Gluhar. They've made their appearances, and currently right now Sturman is up, at least till the next rotation. It's been a great opportunity to farm the bosses if you're just trying to get those kills done. There's a couple of tasks involved with it, or even the achievements. These have been great to farm the bosses and get those done. I'm personally really curious to see if the goons are going to go to 100% spawn rate on Lighthouse at some point, because that's going to be a pretty wild event, just because it'll pull a lot of people in for like test drive and some other tasks, as well as fighting the goons. And Lighthouse can be an interesting map when it's very busy. At least it's a lot better than it is right now, with it being kind of dead. Now, beyond that, we also had a technical patch that went up on May 19th. BSG actually took the servers down for, it was supposed to be 5 hours, but I think it ended up being a little over 6. And it's what they called infrastructure work necessary for future patches. I know some of you might be thinking, is this setting up for a big in-game event? And while that has definitely happened before, that's a fair thing to think, I don't think that's the case with this. And the why is, well, we already have a pretty clear picture of what's coming up. They've been pretty open about when we're going to have events and what patches are going to be. And we do have a decent patch coming up here in June for the roadmap, but there's no mention of any kind of events there. So this patch was likely just laying the groundwork for those future updates. Nothing too exciting to read into, but it's one of those rare examples of actually seeing the regular back-end work they do, and that goes on. Normally we don't see patches, it just happens. But this is one of those ones that for whatever reason needed a big patch. Now, speaking of that upcoming June update, let's get into that so you know what to expect. They've been on time with them, so I'm expecting it within the next week. I guess it could go on a little longer than that. Hopefully they let us know if it does, though don't hold your breath. Now, according to the roadmap, the next patch 16.7, is shaping up to be a pretty solid housekeeping update. That'll carry some extra baggage of really nice quality of life features suggested by the community. So here's what we can expect. First up is cumulative fixes. This is that same thing they always hash over. It just means squashing bugs, improving stability, all that stuff since the last update. It's just a pretty common thing they put in there. Hopefully we'll get a little more detail in the patch notes. Another consistent one that isn't quite so obtuse is the AI behavior adjustments. The AI team has made some major improvements this year alone on the AI. So seeing them still polishing things and getting the AI even in a better shape is a great thing in my eyes, because it's a really important part of how we all interact in every raid in Tarkov. It's not just about the players, it's about the scavs, the raiders, the bosses, all of it. And then again, here's another common occurrence, is balancing changes and improvements. And BSG, they love to tweak things. So expect maybe some adjustments to weapons, pricing, armor, crafting, who knows. All these mechanics can be fair game for them to tweak with, so we'll just have to wait and see what the patch notes say. And then probably the biggest part of the patch notes, I guess, maybe is the summer weather season. Pretty straightforward. Foliage is going to change a little bit. The weather probably changes. I think we end up with more rain in the summertime, if I remember correctly. And we'll just have to wait and see if they do anything other environmental stuff. Some older players might remember them doing like a dehydration event, which was, I know it's one of everybody's favorite events. I don't know if they're going to do anything like that again, but you never know. And then again, like I said, this is a housekeeping patch, so another repetitive thing is audio engine improvements. They're upgrading the audio processing algorithm for better sound occlusion and overall performance. This is ongoingly and seemingly never-ending process. But hey, any improvements to the audio are always welcomed. Now, beyond the patch notes, there's also a decent list of community requested quality of life features, and they're all being implemented. This month is bringing us the warning before starting a raid that you have a task item in your inventory. This is huge because it prevents you from accidentally losing some of those precious quest items. You go back in with, maybe you forgot to turn it in, or it's one that you've got to plant on another map or something. You want to pull it out of your quest inventory. So that's a good one. It's one I've kind of asked for a lot of years. It wasn't too big of a deal, but it's definitely a nice change of pace. With this, we're gonna all get some more stash auto sort improvements. Hard to say exactly what that is. I didn't go look into the Tarkov community dev for it, but hey, anything that's a quality of life improvement with stash is always good. We're also going to get the ability to check in-game time. So like, you know, you want to raid, what time is it? Is it 2200? And you can start Insomnia. You know, are you before 1000? So you can still do chumming on interchange. All of those are just super important to know. It's super helpful to have something to check that. Now, I'm expecting to just see it as in a clock up in the top right corner with the raid time. It's not going to be like on a watch or anything. I know there's some watches that work, but they're few and far between. But my only thing is that top right corner is starting to get really cluttered with transits and extracts and raid time, and so we'll just have to wait and see how they implement it. If it's something a little bit cleaner or easier to see, even if it's just something that's when you open up your character inventory you can see it, I think would be fine. Now, one that I think is going to be really interesting to see how it plays out is they're going to reduce flashlight glare when wearing sunglasses. Now, I'm guessing that they're all going to have kind of their own little stats, but either way, this is a potential huge change. And I'm eager to see how well it's implemented and if it'll really change this whole flashlight meta we have in Tarkov, and that we've all lived with, well, pretty much forever. This has a chance to really change that, so it should be pretty interesting. And then on to more just quality of life stuff is auto purchasing of missing currency when buying items. So if you're buying stuff from traders or off the flea market and you're out of dollars or euros, it'll offer you a window to just auto buy that stuff. Super handy. You're not going through 3 more windows again to try to find it and buy it. Just making that less clicks to get into raid, which I think is a good thing. Then we're going to get some task sorting improvements. Basically, I think it's just going to be the addition of being able to pin, not just filter, but pin tasks to the top. So if you have one task you want to focus on, you know, and sometimes you got 30 tasks listed, you can pin one at the top that you want to worry about, or 2 or 3 or whatever, and you're not constantly scrolling through to see, you know, did you get that grenade kill, or did you get the point right, or did you plant how much else do you have to plant? All that stuff will be a lot easier to see. So good stuff there. There's another one coming up. Just gonna be interesting to see how it plays out, but when you're building weapons, the game will highlight attachments available from traders. So it's gonna make it a little bit easier when you're doing some of your builds to spot, you know, hey, what's gonna be really expensive versus what can I buy off the traders when you're trying to get stuff off the flea. So eager to see how that plays out. Now, of course, I want to say, keep in mind this roadmap is preliminary and subject to change. BSG mentioned that an updated version will be published in June, so we might see some tweaks or additions, but overall, this update looks like it's going to make some really nice improvements to the game, especially with those quality of life features. Again, I'm particularly excited about the audio upgrades and that flashlight sunglasses thing and how that all plays out. So there you have it. Everything you need to know about the latest happenings in Escape from Tarkov. I know it was short. That's all we needed. I'm not going to drag it out. You know, from the weekly boss spawns and technical patch to the upcoming June update. That's what we've got. Now, if you found the video helpful, make sure to hit that like button. Lets YouTube know you like this content, you want to see it when it comes out. Plus, it helps me out a bunch. Drop a comment down below if there's anything else you want me to cover in the future for updates. And I guess last but not least, if you're in the United States, I hope you have had a great Memorial Day weekend. For everyone else, I hope you just had a good weekend in general. We'll wrap her up there. I wish you the best of luck in your raids, and we'll see you in Tarkov.